We're now going to talk about the weather here in the North American Southwest deserts, which is where I reside here around Phoenix, Arizona area. And we're going to get a little bit of input of what we're going to see coming up. Now, the severe weather event I talked about last week was not widespread because I wasn't expecting it to be widespread anyway. So the good news is there was no widespread severe weather. There was some, but it was not widespread by any means. But some of the storms that developed did indeed produce some moderate-sized hail, about up to the size of quarters, out of some of the strongest storms. And we did have some isolated areas of wind gust and wind damage. Rainfall was not that great because the storms were moving very rapidly. Okay, so some people have said, well, Tim, are we going to see a transition event in Arizona or New Mexico, California? Are we in that time of year that we're going to start seeing transitional events? Well, the answer to that is yes. This is going to be the second cutoff low that has developed so far the end of this monsoon season. We only got about, I'd say, 2 weeks tops left to this monsoon season. But, some models saying October is going to be wet, and so is November. And that could be, if those models hold, it could be from tropical influence that we're going to have to watch again, because we're only at we just had Lydia, so we're only at L here in the East Pacific right now. And it's been relatively quiet, but some models are saying another tropical system could develop and either move west or northwest in, the Baja area again. Thankfully, Lydia did not do any serious damage to Southwest California, but it did do some damage on the spine of the Gulf of California and brought heavy rains and floods and high winds. But she was a tropical storm, very strong tropical storm. Winds gusted up to 80 miles an hour along the tip of the Gulf of California, Baja California spine. Okay, so what do we got going on here? Well, remember I mentioned there's a lot of smoke. That's all, pollution advisories and stuff. It's been very, very hot these last almost 3 weeks now across much of the West, as we just had a massive ridge of high pressure and in the wrong spot, Northern Great Basin or Pacific Northwest. That has been bringing a lot of dry continental air into Arizona, New Mexico. But, areas, the monsoon plume, whatever's left of it, it has been bringing some heavy rains and hailstorms, severe weather. Thankfully, no reports of major tornadoes or anything, but some of these storms have been taking on transient supercell structures, which is just basically a very weak structured supercell. But what we're going to be seeing for Arizona, Nevada, and parts of southeastern California is going to be some thunderstorms. Now, some of these storms could be quite potent, especially if they're single cells. They have the potential to be possible transient supercells, which is a weak supercell. I'm not looking for tornadoes anywhere across the Southwest out of this event. This is going to be a 1 to 2 day event, potentially 3, and it's not your classic. It's not going to be your classic transition event, only because of the fact that the high pressure that will start building over the plains here, Colorado and New Mexico again, is eventually going to move this cutoff low that's right about here right now, where this arrow is, and is going to retrograde it westward. And then some models bring it eastward again. And depending on how much moisture there is with it, there could be a classic transition event with a cold front and everything. Okay, that same system that is going to affect this starting Thursday night through Sunday morning could move back to the east as a cold front, and that would be a classic transition event. That could have severe weather with it, hailstorms, and all the works, depending on how much moisture is left after this cutoff low moves through the area. It's not even going to move through the air. It's going to remain off the California coast and just spin there for a couple of days, close enough that it's going to bring increasing southerly winds over Arizona and parts of Nevada, especially Las Vegas Valley and northwestern Arizona. Now, taking a look here at the models and what they say, is basically going to give us an idea of where the strongest winds are going to be. And, it's not set in stone as to how this system is going to behave whatsoever. So we're definitely going to have to, you know, keep a close eye to the sky. So it's going to get more active across much of the southwest, but I'm not expecting widespread severe weather at this time. If we do see severe weather, it will most likely be isolated in nature. So I'm not looking for a huge severe weather outbreak at this current time right now, but that doesn't mean that there's not going to be isolated severe weather around. There certainly will be, for sure. Though, again, right now it looks rather isolated, which is a good thing. Flash flooding, you know, there's going to be some of that as well. Not widespread either. We're actually in slight category for excessive rainfall across much of Arizona and parts of Nevada, and even parts of southeast California, but I don't think we're going to have a huge amount of severe weather or flash flooding. But some of the storms, if they train over the same areas, we're going to, you know, potentially have some flash flooding, with some areas seeing 1, 2, 3, even 4 inches of rain, with the mountains most likely seeing the highest amounts of precipitation at this current time. Okay, so let's tap into a model here, and the laptop's giving me some trouble, but you know, let's take a look at what we got going, and we're going to look at the global models. And for this one, we're going to use the GFS, and this is the latest model run that we got going on right now, and we're going to start at 12 hours out from now and just see what we got, you know, potential in the works here. And right now I want to see if I can look at the wind field, because that's the most important thing. So here's the two hurricanes. Here's Katia down here, and here is Hurricane Irma. Okay, and here's a cold front moving off the New England coastline right now with a cutoff low, or low pressure center, over parts of the Great Lakes region, just east of the Great Lakes. Okay, so what do we got going on here? So I want to get a wind map up for you guys. The laptop is giving me a lot of problems right now. We're going to go out into upper dynamics and go to 250 millibar winds. And this is, you know, going to show you what's going to develop in terms of our weather. Okay, so huge trough in the east right now. So you can see that there. Here's the huge high pressure that's over the northern Great Basin, or just north of the Great Basin here, with the bullseye over Boise, Idaho, roughly. And then you see westerly winds here in Arizona starting to take on somewhat of a southwesterly flow by tomorrow afternoon across the area. And this is going to help to increase the moisture across the region, with dew points by tomorrow afternoon approaching 55 degrees in the Phoenix area. But again, it's not going to be high enough to produce widespread thunderstorms by any means. So let's go out a little bit more and see if I can get this to cooperate here. We'll go out to 24 hours and we'll see where the wind fields are now. This is Friday, September 8th, and again, we'll take a look at what we got going on. So here's our developing cutoff low here, currently situated off the central California coast, with a jet stream starting to become evident here. But the wind's still relatively weak here on Friday across Arizona, so I'm not seeing any major, massive, severe thunderstorms across the Phoenix area or anywhere across Arizona on Friday. There could be some isolated cells that turn severe, but they don't look to be very widespread at the current time at all. So that's good news for sure. Okay, so what about Friday afternoon? Now, we have to look here. There's two areas. This is the main cutoff low. Here's the jet stream pumping southerly winds into California. And this could help get areas, you know, you say, well, this blue, well, that is some wind shear. And right now it looks relatively weak, 20 to 25 knots. You only need about 20 knots or so in order to get some severe thunderstorm activity. But this is looking rather isolated. Some models tomorrow want to bring severe thunderstorms in from Tucson and move them northwestward into the Phoenix area and weaken them rapidly as they approach Phoenix, because our environment will still be too dry, not enough CAPE, not enough, you know, precipitable water to get those storms to hold together if they indeed come up from Tucson. Best chance of storms will actually be around the Yuma area and parts of Las Vegas tomorrow. Some of those storms could train. There could be several cells that move over the same area. These storms, the only saving grace is that they're going to be moving quickly, between 15 and 35 miles an hour. Most likely 10 to 15 miles an hour. I don't think we're going to have the classic setup where we're going to see really, really fast moving supercells or anything. But again, the potential is there for isolated thunderstorms with becoming severe winds over 60 miles an hour and potential for quarter-size hail across the area, especially across northwest Arizona and parts of Las Vegas. Central Phoenix, not going to see much tomorrow at all, or tomorrow night. I believe that thunderstorms, really, if we get any at all in the Phoenix area from this event, most likely will not be until Friday night into Saturday afternoon time period. We could have enough instability and fast winds aloft to bring some thunderstorms into the Phoenix area, but again, isolated at best. There's right now, some models say there's a 50 to 60% chance of thunderstorms in the Phoenix area. I'm not going to go quite that high right now. I'm going to stick more to 10 to 20% chance of thunderstorms in the Phoenix area. Now, East Valley areas, you're not going to get a whole lot of rain from this event Thursday night through Sunday afternoon. There's just not going to be a whole lot. Probably a tenth of an inch or less for the East Valley. Areas west of Phoenix towards Yuma, and again up towards northwest Arizona, Las Vegas, could see up to an inch of rain in isolated spots from this event as it takes place. Okay, so heading out to 48 hours, we're going to see where this trough of low pressure is, and we're going to see how fast the winds are. Now, the center of the low appears like it's going to be in over the San Francisco area, according to the latest models, but it's going to bring a southerly or southwesterly flow into Arizona, and if there is enough moisture present on Saturday, we could be looking at some thunderstorm activity. But again, the fastest winds look to be in through southern California, up and through Nevada, Las Vegas area. Phoenix area, winds look relatively weak aloft. They're not going to be moving that fast, so I don't expect widespread severe weather in Arizona, except maybe extreme northwestern Arizona into parts of Las Vegas and maybe around Yuma, also seeing potentially isolated severe thunderstorms across the area. But again, widespread severe weather is not anticipated across the desert Southwest anywhere. Okay, it will not be widespread severe weather. They could issue a severe thunderstorm watch for northwest Arizona and Las Vegas, but maybe, okay, on any one of the days between Thursday and Sunday, there could be a severe thunderstorm watch if winds can get fast enough, but right now that is not forecasted. Flash flood watches, if we do get a flash flood watch, I don't believe it's going to be for the Phoenix area. I don't believe it's going to be for any parts of New Mexico. It might be for northwest Arizona, Lake Havasu, Blythe, parts of southeast California, and up through parts of Nevada, eastern Nevada and southern Nevada, could see a flash flood watch issued at some point between Thursday and Sunday time period. Now, this is, what day is this? I'm trying to figure out which day this is here. But you can see, again, still a very well-defined cutoff low here, with the highest winds being in north central Nevada. So that area will also have to be watched for potential severe thunderstorms across the area. But let's see what we got going on is in terms of, the winds will go out a little bit further to 66 hours and see what's in the works here. This is going to be, here's Irma, by the way, down here. Okay, so in case you're wondering what that is. The winds are actually pretty fast here in through the central deserts, but still fastest along the Colorado River Valley. And this is for Saturday, September 9th. So again, winds relatively fast, but they're not super fast, so I don't think we're going to have to worry about widespread severe weather. I don't think, during this entire event, I don't expect massive severe weather anywhere across the area. But again, isolated severe weather, Thursday through Sunday afternoon is a possibility, though not likely at this time. Okay, so I just want to stress that we're not under the gun for tornadoes. There's not going to be, this is not an event like October 5th, 6th, time period back in 2010 where Belmont, Arizona, just west of Flagstaff, had a huge amount